What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Talk Toomey here on notfest.com. As always, I am Joshua Toomey, joined by the one, the only Chris Akin. Chris, how are we doing?
Just call me G-Man for the week.
The G-Man. What a bunch of crap that was, man. You know, I'll start off. You know, obviously you're talking about the Titans losing to the Giants this week and in the opening week of the season.
No.
And I just have to say to Titans Nation, whatever we call ourselves out there, that I am sorry. I wasn't at home on my couch with my jersey on in my spot with my certain drink that I drink during the game. So, I mean, I'll take this loss on me. But I was actually at rehearsal, and, you know, the guys I play in a band with are all in Nashville, all Titans fans. So we had a TV up as we were rehearsing. So it was like, we're playing touchdown, awesome, touchdown, awesome. You know, like we're just watching the game as we're rehearsing. And but we had the rehearsal space up until 6:00, and the game didn't finish till like 6:30. So the guy that was running the space, I'm like, hey man, can I plug this TV up out in the hallway? Because there was another band coming in after us. Right. He's like, dude, do what you have to do. And so we're in this small hallway around like a little, 27-inch TV or whatever, like watching the end of the game. And when Bullock missed that kick, man, I'm like screaming in the middle of the hallway. I'm like, motherfucker. And then, I got to drive back home, 3 hours home in the car. Angry, listening to like post-game stuff. And, the post-game show where it's everybody calling in, fire the coach and fire the quarterback and fire, everybody's firing everybody, man. I was just wallowing in it on the drive home. So yes, we were a 5.5 point favorite, lost by 1 to the stupid New York Giants. And they definitely out-tightened us because they just kept running the ball like we would and just wore the team down. And man, they made more plays than we did, man. It was some bull crap. But your team, the Cleveland Browns, won the opening week for the first time since like the Nixon administration. So, I mean, you must be living the dream right now.
We rub and tugged a victory out of the jaws of defeat, man. It was great. It was fun. It was fun. And boy, the Baker Mayfield hate is just going crazy today on Cleveland radio. Everybody was like, see, he was a fucking bum, it's like,
right. Well, that's what's crazy about, you had a 2-point win. So everybody's all roses up there. Mm-hmm. We had a 1-point loss that we could have won by 2 if we made a field. Had we won that game, it would have been like, grit, determination, and blah, 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 pulling out all the stops and everything else, man. But yeah, we Titans fans are a bunch of losers this week.
Who was quarterback this week? Was it Tannehill?
Yeah.
I didn't see any highlights other than the kick.
All right. No, Malik will not see the field this year unless injury or, some mop-up duty or something in the game.
Yeah, by the way, since we're talking football here a little bit, did you happen to watch any of the game last night, the Monday Night Football?
I watched the whole. I ended up watching the whole game. I was going to watch like until halftime and go to bed, and I ended up watching the whole game. And same thing with them, man. 1-point loss for the old Broncos.
I am never, ever this guy that I'm about to be right now.
Okay.
But if there was ever a time to cut your losses while you can, the Broncos ought to do it with this coach. They should cut him after game 1. They should cut him. Dude, what the hell was it? They had a full minute left. They're moving the ball. You got Russell fucking Wilson, who's known for fourth quarter drives.
Yeah.
And they took that with a minute left, they just let the clock run for 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Call a timeout and then try to kick the longest field goal in the history of the game. What the fuck was that? Why not throw 2 more plays?
It was insanity, man. It was even today he's on radio going, well, in hindsight, I guess we should have tried a couple more plays. And you're like, no shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, he's gonna be a bad coach. Yeah. You can tell. I mean, that is high school level shit there.
Right.
You don't do that. You never put all your eggs in the something that's never been done ever before basket. And he did. He was like, my guy, he could kick it from 75. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Throw the ball for 8 more yards and get a reasonable kick. Jeez. Yeah, if I was the Broncos, I'd be demanding that guy be fired today.
Get all that Walmart money, you can just buy him out.
That's right.
Well, now that we're saying it, if you're watching this on YouTube, comment in the comment section your team, and if you won or lost, if you're happy or sad, and you could be like Chris, be very happy, be like me, very sad. And we only get the Buffalo Bills this week on Monday Night Football, so here we
didn't
go.
Look very good the other night.
Oh no, not
the
at
Super
all.
Bowl champs.
But someone that did look good was this week's interview I posted a couple of days ago with Art Cruz of Lamb of God. Man, I wish I would have had 10 hours with the guy. I could still be talking to him. We you sometimes you walk away from an interview going, oh God, that was dreadful. Or sometimes you walk away going, man, I could still be talking to that guy. And Art Cruz was one of those people, man. Definitely a fun interview, and got some blabbermouth, got some Revolver magazine pulled it, and the PRP and Metal Sucks and everything else, man. With his comment,
yes,
of it, man. As soon as he said it, dude, I was just like, there it is. There's the blabbermouth headline. Randy Blythe is the greatest frontman in heavy metal history. So I was like, wow, that's that. I mean, I don't disagree that he's like top 5, top 10.
Stop.
No, there's no stop. That of
top 5 of what?
Frontman, like an actual not singer, frontman
ever.
Yes, like on stage, jamming out. Like he's amazing live. What are you talking about?
I'm not saying he's not amazing live. Top 5, dude.
Frontman in heavy metal history. Frontman,
dude. Dio. That's one.
Okay.
We're, as far as frontmen, David Lee Roth, do we count that, or is that rock? What are we calling that?
Well, we're going heavy metal, so I think we got to go a little heavier than Van Halen.
Rob Halford.
Okay.
Let's see here. Top 5, James Hetfield. Okay. In the heyday, James Hetfield.
Right.
Nobody was better than James Hetfield in the heyday.
Right.
Let's see. Who else? I'm just trying to go through my head quickly. Any of the thrash bands, Tom Araya, Joey.
You think Tom Araya was a good front man?
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like front man, like stage presence, crowd participation.
Well, he definitely got the crowd going. He definitely got the crowd going with the screaming and yelling and shit.
I don't know.
I mean, Randy runs around more. Shit,
jumping, like stage presence, I'm talking like that stuff. Like
I'll put Mark Hunter above him.
Well, I know you will because you were posting about that today. So
yeah, I will absolutely. I did it half joking, but Mark a better front man than Randy. He definitely commands a crowd better than Randy.
Okay,
Randy just performs.
But I think that's part of the front man thing that we're looking for here, like a good, in heavy metal history, just like being out there in front, getting the crowd going, vocals,
Axl Rose.
Okay,
that's 5 I've named. You want me to keep going? I mean, if I
well, it took you long enough.
Okay, it took me 2 minutes. It took me 2 minutes doing it off the cuff.
Yeah.
There's more of them. I'm just going blank on them right now, but there's plenty of those guys that were great. Top 5 is that's really elevated territory. To be top 5, you got to also have a top 5 catalog, or at least a top 10 catalog, which Lamb of God does not. As much as I love Lamb of God, don't get me wrong, and let me be clear on that. I love the band.
Right.
But I wouldn't put them in the top 10 all-time metal bands. Maybe top 30.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely have to. They're top 20, I would say.
How about Phil Anselmo in the day?
In the day? Well, all right, the quote from the full quote from Art.
Yeah.
Is Randy Blythe, he's the greatest frontman in heavy metal history, in my opinion, not just on a vocal level. It's more of a performer. You know what I'm saying? Metal bands need a performer and someone like that can really take it and lead you through this adventure. So I think between Randy and people like Jamie Josta and obviously Phil Anselmo, These are elite frontmen, in my opinion. That's just in my generation, too. You can go back even more and start going deep into older stuff, the classic metal days and stuff like that. There's a lot more performers happening now, I think, from hardcore scene and that new wave of American heavy metal that came through. Your frontman was kind of everything.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to keep naming bands because now they're coming to me. Corey Taylor.
Right.
Better frontman. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he gets a lot of, added, the costumes and things like that.
Commands a crowd like no one's business.
Yeah.
Jonathan Davis.
Okay.
Freddie Durst.
Fred Durst. No, that might be top 5.
Fred Durst commands a crowd.
Is one of the greatest front men, but is that heavy metal history though? Like that?
Well, whatever. It's in the same time period that Randy's been a guy,
right?
The exact same time period.
Yeah,
and I would say Fred Durst, not musically, but as a front man.
Oh,
Fred Durst better.
I can see that. Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge Fred Durst Limp Bizkit fan. So, and I know that as a performer, Fred is, almost untouchable when it comes to commanding a crowd.
Sure.
i.e. Woodstock 99.
Yeah. There you go.
So stuff like that.
How about the guy from Rammstein? The guy lights himself on fire, for fuck's sake. I mean,
do you need to be lit on fire to be a great frontman?
You're putting on a show. There's true. Your show. He lights himself on fire. That's a show, man.
Right.
Weird because I hate their music. Odorous Orungus.
See, I think that falls kind of into that like Slipknot category where, you've got props and stuff going on.
Okay.
So.
But you didn't say that. You didn't say that. And you just said greatest frontman.
Well, okay. Well, let's talk about Metalocalypse or something,
Maybe.
Death Clock, great frontman.
Great frontman. Just say top 5 is very elite territory. I get that you were talking to him as he was putting his check into the bank, but Jesus Christ, dude. Top 5 is a little high. I would bet you, even if you asked Randy, he would be like, come on, dude, top 5? No.
Right. Let's see here. Some of the comments on this. Art Cruz failed metal history class. Doing some ball washing in hopes of a higher cut on their tour money.
Yeah.
He even mentions filling someone in the same paragraph. If we're talking that style of metal, there is only one true king. Not taking anything away from Randy, but facts are facts. I guess in Art's world, Maiden, Sabbath, Priest, Metallica do not exist.
Yeah. And we didn't even bring up Dickinson.
The last time I saw Lamb of God, they had Clutch and COC opening. I'll take Neil Fallon or Pepper over Randy.
I don't know about that now.
Yeah.
Both of those bands are kind of stand and play guys.
So like this stuff is like, wow, how diluted can you get? He's not even one of the best in the widest sense. To the contrary, he's absolutely terrible, crappy voice, and really no fun to look at. That's an insane comment.
Yeah, well, that's not true either. I mean, dude, you can't go too far and say that the guy's garbage. He's definitely not garbage. I get it. It's not that guy's style of music. That guy should go back to listening to his Warrant records and being happy. But, for that style of music, Randy's great. I'm not, again, I hope people aren't taking this that I'm like, fuck Lamb of God, they suck.
Right.
Because I'm definitely not saying I love them. I'm an absolute fan of Lamb of God. That being said, top 5 is elite. And I don't think they're elite. I think they're very good.
Well, I think they're great. And if you want to see them on tour, Chris,
where would I go?
Oh, well, I mean, one of the most exciting and complete metal tours has just kicked off. Lamb of God's Omens tour is now hitting the U.S. from New York City to L.A. and everywhere in between with special guest Killswitch Engage, and a rotating roster of metal's most exciting artists, including Suicide Silence, Spirit Box, Motionless in White, Baroness, Animals as Leaders, and Fit for an Autopsy. And Chris, you can get your tickets now at lambofgod.com.
Right. I can't wait to do it. And it's Lamb-of-God, I believe, isn't it?
Well, the copy that I have here does not have that. So, but it might be like what on here it does say lamb-of-god.com. So,
yeah,
you must be a massive fan.
Either that or John Campbell just told me it like 2 days ago.
Did John Campbell in your interview say anything about Randy Blythe being the best singer of all time?
No, he did not. He was very, very businesslike, as he always is. He was fun though. We had a good conversation. Yeah, you know what the funny thing is, and I'll pull the curtain back, and you can deny if you want, but it's true. You and I both went into this interview cycle basically wanting Mark Morton. We knew we weren't going to get Randy, that he's just not doing anything but the big stuff, the biggest big stuff.
Right.
So Morton is like the next guy up. You ended up with Art Cruz.
Right.
I ended up with John Campbell. If we're being deadly honest, we both were like, son of a bitch. And yet we both did great interviews. We both had interviews that we both think were great. So that's
if we're pulling the curtain back, I was originally offered Willie, and I was excited to talk to Willie. And that's who I honestly wanted, because there's a lot to talk about with him. And then it got moved to John Campbell. And since John Campbell's been on the show recently, I was like, hey, can I get a different member? And then it was like, all right, well, what about Mark Morton? And I was like, sweet. And then it was, well, you got Art Cruz. And I honestly I didn't know a ton about Art going into the interview. And I listened to one other podcast with him, the Garza show from the guy from Suicide Silence's podcast. Mm-hmm. And dude, he did like a 2-hour interview with Art Cruz. And I was like, man, if I even get a smidgen of this guy that on the show, because Art and Garza know each other. Right. So the guard was down and things like that. So I was kind of curious to see how Art would, treat me in this interview. And he was exactly what you wanted. He's been in the band for 4 years now, 2 albums, but still is still a fan, obviously saying that, Randy's one of the greatest of all time. And just knows kind of how lucky he is to be in the position that he's in, because, he's still a fan of Lamb of God was one of his favorite bands, and he just now happens to be the drummer of it. So he's not jaded, and he wasn't, too cool for school or anything like that.
Right. So. Well, dude, it's funny. I don't mind sharing this now because the interviews went well. If they went bad, I wouldn't say a word. But
right.
But I'm literally looking at the email that I had for it, and this was the day before the interview, and it says confirmed Wednesday, Mark Morton for press at 12:30 on StreamYard with the link.
Right.
Then right under it says confirmed John Campbell.
And don't get me wrong, kind of what you said too. Like when John was on the show, John was great.
He's great.
Super cool Southern accent. Got that draw to him, and just seems to be, awesome. But I mean, I just was trying to mix it up a little bit, when I asked for someone other than John. So I don't want anybody to think that we were, ungrateful for what we got. But
absolutely not. No, I was absolutely thrilled. I was thrilled because it was a good interview. If it would have been a suck interview, I would have been really pissed. But, because I wanted to ask Morton about, his solo stuff too. I actually had a couple of questions about that. So, Campbell, obviously there's a lot that you could talk to him about too. And look, Lamb of God is one of the most newsy bands right now, between the Blythe having COVID and, the Mark Hunter and the Joe from Fit for an Autopsy stuff, and Phil Demo playing basically everything but drums so far. And who knows if he's going to or not later. I mean, there's a lot. Big album, great album getting ready to come out, big tours, long tours in a COVID time when long tours are kind of rare. There's a lot to talk about with these guys. So I'm definitely pumped. I know they're not coming to Cleveland, of course. They're going to Youngstown. I'm thinking I might go.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Another band that's touring right now.
Who's that?
Slipknot.
They are?
Well, you can catch one of Slipknot's latest U.S. shows for a while as they headline the Knotfest Roadshow with Ice Nine Kills and Crown the Empire. The tour kicks off in Nashville next Tuesday, the 20th, and also hits Springfield, Missouri, Atlanta, Austin, Dallas, Albuquerque, Phoenix, and Salt Lake City before ending in Irvine, California on October 7th. And tickets are on sale now at knotfest.com.
Wow. Chris Hudson, send me a plane ticket, please.
Yeah, it's knotfest.com. You can buy Slipknot tickets and watch the Talk Toomey podcast.
Or watch the podcast while you buy the tickets, even better.
Click play on the podcast that you're currently listening to now somehow, and then buy a Slipknot ticket.
Second screen, baby. Get on it.
It's funny, they kick off their tour in Nashville on Tuesday the 20th, and if you're in Nashville on a Sunday the 18th, you can come see me play.
Wow, this is a real plug fest, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
Actually, you cannot see me play because the show is sold out.
Ooh.
What do you think about that? But they're going, since there's so many bands, it's an all-day thing. As people leave, they're going to allow more people in. Online tickets are sold out, but if you need to come to the show, to the 12 Volt Negative Earth show at Dark Matter in Nashville on Sunday the 18th, show up around. We play at 6:30. Show up a little bit beforehand. I'm sure you'll get in just fine.
So you're playing at 6:30?
Yeah.
So if you play at 6:30, there'll be enough time to drive over to the Knotfest show.
2 days later, yeah.
And plenty of time then.
you can just stake out Nashville for a little while.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hang out.
Yeah, if you're coming to Nashville for a long weekend, come hang out with me, and then you can go see Slipknot 2 days later.
And then you can tell us which band was better.
Right. But speaking of Slipknot, on that, a couple of days after that, I will be seeing them at Louder Than Life. This is not a plug for Louder Than Life, but pretty pumped. I did finally get my credentials for Louder Than Life, so I will be doing some interviews. Got a few of them already booked, and got a few more emails out. So be looking at the Knotfest YouTube and this podcast platform for some fun interviews coming up from the Louder Than Life 2022.
Look at that. Look at that. You're going to work, not even going to have fun. You're going to work.
I think honestly, man, this is like the most fun you can have because you can interview some people. You get, I think the people watching in the media area is like almost more fun than anything.
Oh yeah.
Like the one time, 2 years ago, my wife goes with me and she's kind of the, helps me out with video and things like that. And we're sitting there and I look up and I'm like kind of nudging her. I'm like, babe, Marilyn Manson's walking by. It's just like, or like the what was it? It might have been the same year. We showed up in the morning and this go-kart almost hits me. And I look up and on the back of the go-kart was Phil Anselmo. And I'm like 9:30 in the morning. I'm like,
right.
It's Phil Anselmo. He freaking out.
Dude, the funniest thing, I went to Rock on the Range with credentials a few years. And the last year I went, I don't think I saw 3 bands in 3 days. I just didn't watch any of the bands. I stayed in the tent.
Yeah.
Of course, and to be fair, it was like 150 degrees outside. So where the air-conditioned tent was much nicer. But it was just so much fun. Like, dude, I was grabbing bands left and right. Like I think I had 2 interviews scheduled for the whole day.
Yeah.
But I was just grabbing. I grabbed what's his name? Gibson from Exodus. I just grabbed him and
Jack Gibson.
Jack Gibson, just had him do that. And then I grabbed all of the guys from Texas Hippie Coalition and did an interview with them. And then Big Daddy Rich put me in a headlock and tried to tear my head off. Dude,
is he like one of the only dudes that's bigger than you?
He's huge, dude. Yeah. He put me in, first of all, he's like 6'10". He's monstrous. And he put me in his headlock and he kind of leaned back to where my feet came off the ground. I'm 400 freaking pounds. And he's like, come here, man. Hey. I was like, oh, Jesus, he's going to kill me. But
too funny.
But at one point I proposed to Lizzie Hale. That was pretty funny. Nice. We were just standing there, like her brother was being interviewed or something, like their bandmates. And me and her were just standing there. And I just, as a goof, said, got down on one knee and did the whole, the whole marriage proposal. And she just laughed. She hasn't said no yet. So there's still hope.
Yeah. You're still waiting on that answer.
I'm still waiting on the answer. We'll see.
Well, do you know where there's another festival that you can go to?
Where? Where would I go?
Oh, man. Kiss, Rob Zombie, Slipknot, Lamb of God, Danzig, Bring Me the Horizon, Shinedown, Papa Roach, Black Label Society, Evanescence, STP, In Flames, Code Orange, Meshuggah, Chevelle, Muse, My Chemical Romance, Beartooth, Jelly Roll, and even more. Wow, what a lineup. All hit Sacramento, October 6th through the 9th for DWP's Aftershock Festival. Limited tickets still available. Make sure to grab yours now at aftershock.com.
I'm going to go there right now. Pause the show so I can buy my ticket.
No, you don't need to pause the show. Just keep listening to the show and then open another tab.
That's
or
right.
A second screen, So hopefully everybody gets their tickets for Lamb of God, for the Slipknot tour, and then go to Aftershock out in Sacramento.
Yes. I'm going there right now.
And I promise that's the last read of the show. So, and now that you've heard us do some reads, if you have a business out there that would like to be promoted on the Talk Toomey podcast,
stop.
Reach out to me, Toomey at notfest.com.
Jesus. We are becoming plug whores.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Next thing we'll be doing our Blue Chew ad.
Yeah. Or this topic sponsored by Man Balls or whatever that thing is. What is that called?
Manscaped.
Manscaped. Yeah, that'll be great. Now, honestly, that'd be the ad I'd want to do. Can you imagine the fun we'd have talking about shaving balls? Oh boy. You're going to get CMS Chris on overload there.
Yeah, the Manscaped segment. Speaking of the Manscaped segment, let's talk a little news.
All right.
See if we can shave some news into our sides of our head. I don't know. So Dino Cazares came out and said the new Fear Factory singer's identity will be revealed in February. And, you and I have talked about this a little bit in the past, but I mean, if you're this person, this guy, this girl, whoever's singing for Fear Factory, you've got to be going nuts. You just have to be like, come on, please let me just say it. Like, just say it.
Yeah. I mean, basically he announced that there was somebody picked 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And now, so if he announced it, there was somebody picked 3 months ago, odds are probably good that there was at least a month or two before that they rehearsed and made sure they liked each other and everything. So there's 5 months there and 6 months now between now and when he's going to announce it. Come on, dude.
I mean, I get that he wants to, release it and probably do the whole, Skid Row redoing 18 in Life and all that stuff, like, doing the Fear Factory and having the new person do some of the new tracks and things like that. But yeah, just let it out there. I mean, like we said in the past, former Night Rage singer Anthony something or other, who unsuccessfully auditioned for the band, claimed in an interview that the new Fear Factory frontman is a person from Italy. So,
yeah, great. That narrows it right down.
But I mean, hey, just a little bit. How many Fear Factory type singers are in Italy right now?
How many singers in general? I can name one. Can you name more than one?
In Italy? No.
The only one I know is, I think, that Fabio Leone guy from Rhapsody in Fire.
Might be him.
I think he's from Italy. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't listen to that kind of shit. But I mean, but he certainly ain't the guy. He can't be the guy.
Right.
That guy's one of those. He's. I don't see that guy fitting Fear Factory real well. Who knows? I don't know. But he said in the past, he said it to you or me, one of us, that it was somebody we would know.
Right.
So. And neither one of us knows anybody from Italy.
I don't know. Yeah, it'll end up being somebody that may be from Italy, but like you don't associate with Italy or something. I don't know.
Is it like Little Italy in like New York?
Maybe that's what it is.
That might be.
But yeah, so once again, we still have no new Fear Factory singer.
Great. So we have a dead record that nobody's even talking about at all anymore, even though it was fantastic. And we have, the anticipation that's really not building. Are you feeling anticipated? Are you feeling anticipation building?
No, I mean, I'm
already bored.
I'm with you. I'm with you on the whole, like, the album is amazing. Like, it was one of my top albums from last year. But yeah, I needed like album plus new singer all together at the same time, and not new album that's awesome that I'll never get to see toured properly. And then I'm assuming, I mean, he has to be doing a new album or at least a new EP or something with the new singer to kind of build some interest when this does, come to fruition.
Yeah, I would hope so. But, at the same time, he's got to be doing something with Divine Heresy, too, because he announced that singer, didn't he? Isn't that singer that Lauren Hart? Is that her name?
From Once Human.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's got to be working on that, too, I would imagine. So, who knows? I love Dino, but come on, bro. Help us out here. We're fans, for fuck's sake.
A story that won't die is Tommy Lee blasts fan who complained about audience members exposing their genitals at a Motley Crue concert.
Okay. That's a story?
That is a story on blabbermouth.net.
All right.
Let's see here. Tommy Lee has blasted a fan who criticized the Motley Crue drummer for encouraging audience members to expose their genitals on camera on the band's just completed stadium tour. Juan Alvarez, who attended the Crue concert with Def Leppard, Poison, and Joan Jett on Wednesday, September 7th in San Francisco, told ABC7 Chicago that the incident was especially traumatizing for children who witnessed the naked body parts on the Jumbotron.
Oh, stop it.
Quote, minors and everyone was forced to see people nude on the big screen, and everyone was doing it around us too, he said. It was like Sodom and Gomorrah. It was crazy. Even the ushers, he had to pull a guy down from the brick wall because he had his private parts out screaming. It was pretty crazy.
All right. First of all, before you even get to Tommy's reaction, you're going to get my reaction to this nonsense.
Right.
First of all, send the Sunday school teacher out of the fucking show.
Right.
Anybody that uses the term private parts should not be at a Motley Crue show in the first place. There's that.
Yeah.
Secondly, anybody that's ever seen a Motley Crue show, and I've seen Motley Crue shows all the way back to 1984 or 5, I guess.
Okay.
Whatever Looks to Kill would have been. That's 84, I think. There's always been nudity at Motley Crue shows. There's always chicks.
Right.
I'll admit, I too do not want to see 4,000 guys with their dick out. I'll be the first one to admit that. But that being said, every Motley Crue show that I've ever been to has always had tits fucking everywhere. To the point that for years they had the titty cam, where they would, Tommy or Nikki or whoever would have that camera, and they'd go around getting chicks to flash on the big screen. So the fact that this guy, 40 years down the road of these guys doing that, is now complaining, he needs to shut the fuck up. And again, I am not in any way saying that it's cool. It's not. It's fucking childish, and Tommy is a child.
Right.
But he's a 60-year-old child. But, that being said, that's what Motley Crue is, always has been, always will be. This guy needs to shut the fuck up or not buy tickets to something he doesn't know what he's getting.
It's funny you say all that, because you must have seen what Tommy said on Twitter and gave an audio reaction to Alvarez, because he says, "Yo, Juan, I've got a question for you. What do you expect to see at a Motley Crue concert, dude? We've been doing this for fucking ever. Jesus Christ, you fucking pussy." In the same tweet, Tommy wrote, "The world is too soft. I've been doing this shit for years, Juan. Motley Crue concerts aren't PG and never have been. Grow the fuck up."
Yeah, I agree. I 1000% agree. And again, Tommy, the only thing I don't agree with is Tommy telling anybody to grow the fuck up. He's still a child.
Tommy is a man child.
He is a child. But that being said, look, it works for him. He's the one making millions, not us. Maybe we should be throwing our junk out on this show. Maybe we make some money.
Well, and then on top of that, Tommy Lee has also launched a profile on OnlyFans, a subscriber-based social media platform popular among porn stars and sex workers.
The only question is, who's going to pay money to see Tommy Lee's dick? It's everywhere.
I wonder.
I mean, they've made movies about his dick, for God's sakes. Are people gonna pay money to see it? Everybody's seen it that wants to, haven't they?
I mean, it had its own speaking part in a movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So why would they just want to see the non-speaking dick? Watch, that'll probably be the next thing. Hulu presents Tommy Lee's cock, a new 20-episode fucking arc.
So I'm kind of wondering. Hang on, I clicked on the Tommy Lee OnlyFans, so now my computer's going to be So you like this? Now check out this. My search. Let's see here. So you can subscribe for $40 a month.
$40 a month.
It says the only post. I mean, you can't really see anything. It says the only post I can read. It says once I hit 1,000 subs, you'll get a massive surprise with a winky emoji.
Jesus Christ! And he will. How many does he have?
I don't know if that's what I was looking for. Seeing if you can see. He has 12 posts and they have 575 likes. So I don't know if that means you can see stuff or not. Yeah.
$40 a month.
For something you can see on the internet for free.
Yeah, no kidding. You can watch that thing work Pamela Anderson fucking for an hour and a half for nothing. Or you can pay $40 to see Tommy jerking off now. I don't think so.
Do you need me to send you the link or?
No.
All right, just making sure.
No, I've got X videos and Pornhub. On any Tommy Lee nudity I want to see is there.
All right. The next thing I wanted to talk about was actually kind of goes right into the recommendations a little bit.
Okay.
Let me pull up. Ozzy actually sent this out today, and actually I'm on this mailing list, so maybe I'm on the Ozzy Osbourne press list now. I don't know. But Ozzy Osbourne has released professionally filmed video of his full performance at halftime of the Los Angeles Rams season opener on September 8th at SoFi Stadium.
Ooh, all 9 seconds?
Right. I've watched some fan film stuff. He did 2 songs. He did Patient Number 9. He did Crazy Train.
Mm-hmm.
The only hindsight being 2020, if you go back and look at all the ads for this, it doesn't necessarily say it's going to be on TV, but it just the way it was promoted seemed like it was going to be on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, even at halftime, I'm clued in to watch this Ozzy performance because I want to see it. And they literally showed 9 seconds of it and then go into, the studio analysis, and you can just hear Ozzy in the background. So, I mean, it's just kind of, I don't know, man. It just took one more big old dump on metal, man. The NFL plays Crazy Train and other Ozzy songs every single game, every single stadium, and they promoted it as he was going to play halftime. So you assume that he's going to play halftime on TV. Also, the only thing I saw was RollingStone.com posted that it was going to be, that NBC and Peacock were going to, show the whole halftime performance. Technically never really said they were going to show the performance anywhere, like I said, but it was kind of promoted that way. And even Pat McAfee was mad on Monday. He was like, why did you promote it that way that even we were talking about it? The Pat McAfee show was like pumped about the Ozzy Osbourne halftime show, and they didn't show it, man. It just treating metal fans once again like we are second class.
Well, I was pissed. I was furious pissed. And I'm not even a big Ozzy fan, really. I'm just not. I mean, I love him in Black Sabbath. Not a huge fan of his solo stuff. But they gave us 10 fucking minutes of some Spanish rap thing at the beginning of the show that was god awful. I mean, it was. Look, and you know me, I like rap. It's not like I'm one of these guys that's like, if it's rap, it's shit.
Rap is crappy.
I like rap. I like rap music. I didn't like this. I did not like this Spanish bullshit. Everybody dressed in red and synchronized, and it was just fucking shit.
Right.
But they gave them guys like 8-10 minutes. Then you take a true legend that they make money off of, which they have. The NFL has made a lot of money. 30 years Ozzy music has been played in the stadium. I mean, how many games have you gone to in the last 30 years? 20, 30?
Yeah, 20, 30, yeah.
Has there ever been a game that you did not hear Crazy Train?
I mean, it's always on the kickoff or something.
Yeah.
You always get some Ozzy. Yeah, it's always going.
And for them to give him 8 or 9 or 10 seconds, that was just bullshit. And it's bullshit they wouldn't have done. They wouldn't have done it to Springsteen. They wouldn't have done it to Bono. They wouldn't have done it to Beyonce. They wouldn't have done it to J-Lo.
Yeah.
You know, because it's and Ozzy is, as far as influence on his particular niche of music, way more influential than anybody I just named.
Oh yeah. Well, I once I saw that they weren't going to play Ozzy, and I thought about it. I mean, you know, Titans games in Nashville, always on game day, you'll get a halftime performance by the Oak Ridge Boys or something. You'll get something like that, and they won't show that on TV, but they also don't promote it on, you know, it doesn't get sent out to all the sites and the sports sites, and not every single site is posting that the Oak Ridge Boys are going to be playing the Tennessee Titans halftime show. You know, like in Cleveland, I'm sure, you know, Mushroom Head will probably play the halftime show at Cleveland, but they're not going to play that on the regular TV. That's just for something in the stadium entertainment. But the way this was promoted seemed to be that it was going to be opening night, halftime show, halftime performance by the legendary Ozzy. And then they, like I said, man, they literally played 9 seconds and then went to the studio analysts. Not cool.
It was not good. I was furious. I really was like, I'm never watching this shit again. Until 5 minutes later when I tuned right back in.
Right.
Maybe they should have asked Art Cruz. They could have had Randy up there playing, and then they would have gone for 15, 20 minutes since he's the greatest frontman ever.
In heavy metal history.
That's right.
Well, let's talk about some recommendations for the week.
Right.
And I wanted to kind of tail this into the Ozzy stuff, man. The latest album, Patient Number 9. I've listened to it probably 5, 6, 7 times. Today I just kind of had it on. I didn't realize I had it on shuffle, but I did.
Okay.
But I was listening to it today and just kind of trying getting into it, man, and just it really seems like they heard the anger from the last record with no Zach, no even Tony Iommi or there was no epic guitar playing on the last Ozzy record. And this one, you know, they bring in Tony Iommi, they bring in Zach Wilde, they bring in even like Mike McCready from Pearl Jam. That song rips, by the way.
That song is great. I know. You
know, Jeff Beck and Eric Clapton's on this. I mean, there's so many great guests on it. I think they took it, and you know, when you ever seen those things where they say I gave a bot, you know, a bunch of scripts from let's say Kevin Smith. I loaded all these Kevin Smith scripts into a bot, and it spit out like a new Kevin Smith movie, and it just gives you all the greatest hits from, you know, kind of that style. This album to me feels like they took all of the Ozzy catalog and even some of the Black Sabbath stuff, threw it in a blender and said, you know, gave it to a bot and said, give me an Ozzy record.
Right.
Because you've got the Tony Iommi old school Black Sabbath stuff. You've got the crazy guitar of Zach Wilde era. You've got, you know, just all the different eras and all the different Ozzy. And the only real complaint I have on this album is some of the ad-lib stuff that Ozzy does at the end of songs. I'm just like, come on, dude. That was not funny. That was never funny.
Yeah.
But
edit it out.
So if I'm going to give a number grade to this album, I don't think it's fantastic. I don't think it's great. I think it's good. I think it's about a 7.5.
Yeah. You know, I'd be right there. I'd be right there with that. I mean, it's the best thing that he's done since Osmosis?
Perry Mason.
Perry Mason's great. That's Osmosis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Either Osmosis or, you know, if you want to go back a little further, No More Tears, but nothing touches that to me. That's like my favorite from him. But I would say it's the best since Osmosis anyway. I mean, it sounds like Ozzy. I was surprised by that. I figured with him being all tore up and surgical and everything that he was going to sound a little weak.
Yeah.
And he didn't. You know, he sounds like Ozzy. Sounds like classic Ozzy. Love the Iommi song. I'm with you too. The best song on the record is the one with the Pearl Jam guy with McCready.
Right.
You know, it's a great tune. I don't know why Pearl Jam doesn't let that guy let loose every once in a while. So he can obviously play.
Yeah, he was shredding towards the end there. You're just like, Mike McCready is just ripping solos at the end there.
Yeah. I mean, it's a listenable record. It's worth the listen, and it doesn't. The other album, the last one, I don't know. I couldn't get past like 3 songs in a row before I got bored with it.
Yeah.
This one, I listened through it. I've probably listened to it 3-4 times, and each time it's been a full listen. It hasn't been like, let me give this a while, and like 2 songs later, I'm bored and I'm looking for something else. Each time it's been till it stopped. So it's like, okay, that's an indicator that it's pretty good. So I'm with you. 7.5 right in there, I would say.
I think the sad stuff on it though is like he does seem to be talking about his own mortality a lot, and you're like, oh man, just like please don't talk about that. Like, there's a lot of like maybe when I'm dead and gone type songs. I'm like, all right, man.
Well, he is 70 something, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's old. He is old and he's broken, and he spent a year where he couldn't even stand up straight. So he probably was thinking he was dying for a while when he was writing some of this, or when somebody was talking to him and then writing it for him. I'm sure that's what he was talking about, was dreary, dead shit. So, and dude, not for nothing, but would it shock you any if he died like this year before and I'm certainly not hoping that, but I'm just saying, would you be shocked? I wouldn't be.
No, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked with a lot of these guys of that age, passing away. But
I'm saying specifically him, who's had such bad health, and major surgeries that didn't go well, and and now finally it seems like this surgery might have done well, because he does look pretty healthy when they dye his hair, and I don't know what they're doing. Are they hooking him to some kind of like stand or something?
That's the rumor I've heard is he's definitely propped up.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're like wheeling him out there on some kind of stand. Which
I guess he can't. He rose from the stage at this performance. I did watch a fan video enough to see that they're kind of pushing him up through the stage, and I guess bringing him back and under it and wheeling him off.
Yeah, well, you can see in the pictures of him that there's some kind of a harness behind him. Yeah. So he's probably buckled in, but hey, at least he's standing up. At least he's not going all Phil Collins, sitting in a chair, leaning on a mic stand.
Got the old office chair, rolling Ozzy out in an office chair.
I'll take him at least standing, but hooked into something. If they want to be really cool, fly him around the stage a little bit. Just hook him on a harness and flim him around as he's singing. Now you got a show.
Put him in a bat costume and fly him around. I think you and I talked about this a little bit the other day, but why a new Ozzy? That's the only question I have. It's like what does it serve? Because it's it's not going to sell him bazillion records, and unless Ozzy just wants to do this, and that's what
I think.
If he just wants to do it, then I'm cool with it. But I mean, I'm just like, why are we doing new Ozzy albums? He can live off the legacy, and if he wants to play shows and tour, I mean, obviously, even they let him play Patient Number 9, but he had to play Crazy Train, and then he did the what was it, the where was it at, the I just had the Commonwealth Games. They did like what, Paranoid,
yeah.
So Iron Man. It's not like he's just busting out all these new classics.
No, so I honestly think it's what he knows.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been doing this since he was 17, 18 or whatever, like since he was young.
Yeah,
he's never not done it any other way. He's always put out a record and toured it, and I think it's just what he knows. To do anything else would not feel normal to him. I mean, dude, why is he out there? Why does he even need a tour? He's got to be worth $300 million, doesn't he? Well, it's fucking Ozzy.
Let's look it up.
Between all of the tours and the Osbournes and all the DVD sales, all the everything sales, he's got to be worth $300 million. Black Sabbath too. He might even be worth more.
220 million is what it says.
All right, now look up Sharon and add that together. You add the two together, you're going to come up to 300 million. It ain't like he's going to be looking for a place to eat anytime soon.
It says Sharon is also worth 220 million, so I don't know what that means.
So they're worth half $500 million.
Nice.
Yeah. And he needs to get out there and fucking be buckled in to play a song. I don't think so. He's doing it because he wants to.
Yeah. No, I mean, good for him. And I'm glad if that's what he wants to do, if he, I think that I always like hearing the kind of Beatle-esque Ozzy songs because I know those are probably the ones that he probably has the most fun writing and recording because of his just love for the Beatles. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I think overall, man, great album. And if you're an Ozzy fan, you're still going to be an Ozzy fan,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I agree.
So it definitely took the bad taste out of your mouth from that last Ozzy record. Like if this is the final Ozzy record, he went out on a high note. He kind of hit the greatest hits and you got everything you would want out of an Ozzy record. And there's no Post Malone, there's actual guitar solos.
No Elton John,
Wow, cool.
No, it's not. Stop it. And I like Elton John. Again, not an Elton hater at all.
Right.
But boy, didn't like that song at all. Ugh.
Yeah, and other than that, man, the only other recommendation I have is I'm going to see Clerks 3 on Thursday when this drops. So next week I'll have my Clerks 3 review. So we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty pumped to see it. The movie looks super meta. It's basically Kevin Smith's story and the making of the first Clerks as Clerks 3, and I just love that whole USQ universe, and I'm pumped to see just another episode in the saga, I guess.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that one as well. So that should be fun. And the only TV recommendation I have, and it's a lukewarm recommendation. So I'm gonna put this out there. I enjoyed this. It ain't getting any love online. So I'll just tell you that. I'll tell it up front. I sort of enjoyed this new Jurassic Park, or was it Jurassic World Dominion? It's on Peacock. They just released it on Peacock.
Okay.
Not as awful as I really thought it was going to suck, and they brought out all a lot of the old guard. Right. Jeff Goldblum's in it and Sam Neill's in it. And I forget what the lady's name is, but she's in it. The whatever her name is from the original movie. And Chris Pratt is in it. So it has a lot of the people that have been through the franchise. And it really wasn't as awful as I thought. I thought it was going to just be garbage. And honestly, the weakest link to this movie was the CGI, which is surprising in one of their movies. But the CGI just looked like it did 25 years ago or whatever it was when we first did Jurassic Park. So it's like, yeah, they could have probably upgraded that a little bit, but movie-wise, decent story, kind of put a nice end to the series. I didn't hate it, so
there we go.
If you're into dinosaurs and Jurassic Park, you'll like this Jurassic World Dominion.
Yeah, I know my son went to see it. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm sure we'll see it now that it's on Peacock. It'll be in the house.
Sure,
watching it if you all over the place. So,
did your son like it or did he hate it?
I'm sure he liked it, but I mean, he's what, 8? So I mean, he's pumped about anything Jurassic World.
Like, oh, dinosaurs, cool,
right? And other than that, man, just I recommend watching football.
Yes, you can see my championship bound Browns.
There you go
with our star quarterback.
Yeah, kind of going back to the earlier though, like we were watching the game, in the practice space as we were rehearsing for the show. So we were kind of, I'm watching the game and rehearsing for the show. So I didn't really, I'm not as mad as I normally would be about a loss, especially a loss where we had, a 2-score lead and then we, gave it up or whatever, because I wasn't fixated on the game. So I'm thinking maybe I just should stop watching football and just hear the results. And if we lose, then I'd be like, I don't even know what to be mad about.
Well, I know your recent choices between the USFL and now this are really not doing well. Seems like you pick teams that lose a lot.
It's funny that people keep saying like, all we do is lose. We were the number 1 seed in the AFC last year with the best record. Like, how is that losing a lot?
In 2022, you watched 2 teams that got 2 total wins so far.
I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I'm pumped. I'm, and my show is on Sunday. So I'm not going to get to see a lot of the football, but luckily Titans play Monday night. So next Monday night, I will be buckled down in my spot. Titans fans, don't worry. I'm going to have my jersey on, drinking a drink, sitting in my spot, and everything will be back to normal. And we will go romp the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. I believe you. Really.
I'm sure you do.
Lost to the Giants, but going to beat the Bills. That sounds about right.
But we lost to the Jets last year and beat the Bills. We lost to the, we lost to the Patriots last year, beat the Bills.
Did you watch the Bills? Texans. Did you watch that game the other night?
Yes, I did.
The kickoff game. That Bills team looks pretty goddamn good.
We beat the Bills 2 years in a row, so we'll see if they can finally get off the schneid and beat us, then they beat us. But as of right now, Josh Allen has a losing record against us.
Well, I'm pumped up because my team, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we're playing the Jets this week.
Yeah, hey, don't be taking those New York teams lightly.
I'm not going to get overconfident because it is the Browns after all.
Browns got a brown.
Yeah, and I thought they were browning in the fourth quarter the other day. So,
and you brought that cool elf logo back to your 50-yard line.
Yeah, that's pretty poor. Keebler in the middle of the field. Stop it.
Oh, man. Well, I guess that will do it for another episode of Talk to Me here on notfest.com. Make sure to go back and check out my interview with Art Cruz. And so until next Thursday, I'm Joshua Toomey.
I am Chris Akin.
And we will talk to you soon.
See ya.